David Platt's Bari career began 8 months ago at a pre-season training camp in the hills of northern Italy. It was hot, but this was a gentle and pleasant introduction to the literal and metaphoric heat of the Italian Serie A to come. So for most of his teammates, today's pre-match loosener was a bit of an eye-opener. Early spring it may have been, but this corner of a foreign field was typically England.
It's nice to be back. Obviously it is a bit colder, but I'm used to this weather, you know. The boys are a little bit cold, but I think they're looking forward to the game.
A sense of occasion for you, surely?
Certainly, yeah. I think when you play against your old team, you know, when I was at Aston Villa and we played against Crewe in the FA Cup, there was an occasion there because that was going back to play for my old team. Obviously this is a little bit different because it's a friendly, but it is an occasion. You know, all the Italians are over here because of my deal. Hopefully it'll be a good game because that's the main thing in a friendly. Italians
in soccer are notoriously fickle, but the special relationship Platt has established with Bari's multi-millionaire president Vincenzo Matarese has remained and indeed been strengthened. Since Platt's arrival, Bari have made other significant signings, such as Yugoslav international Robert Jarni. Platt, though, remains the star.
Yes, David Platt has possibly been the only English footballer who has come to Italy and settled down as quickly as he's done. It demonstrates that David Platt is not only a great player in Italy, but also one of the best in Europe.
What sort of reception are you expecting?
Well, I'm hoping for a good one. I would think that's what's going to happen. You know, there will be a decent reception, and then you know, the fans will probably start joking a little bit, but that's fine. You know, nobody bothers. I enjoy that.
The reception probably won't match that which greeted Platt on his Bari debut in August, but it's certain to be enthusiastic. And with Villa's current scoring record, the supporters will probably wish they could buy him back.
A deal that took him to Italy. He lines up for Bari in a friendly against Aston Villa. Bari need to keep match fit in their battle to stay in the Italian First Division. Villa, they just need to score some goals.
8 months on and David Platt even looks Italian, blending in with his Bari teammates as easily as red wine does with a plate of pasta. It's not been easy, a season that's seen Bari battle against relegation. On Sunday they lost to AC Milan. They're still in the bottom 4 of the Italian First Division. But Platt has been their star. Last summer they courted, then won him for £5.5 million. Instantly England's World Cup star fitted in with his surroundings, attracting huge crowds to training sessions, learning Italian quickly and casting aside the notion that English footballers don't need to learn from the Italians. Now part of a side worth £25 million, he returns to Birmingham. The friendly at Villa Park is part of the transfer deal. The Italians are delighted with him.
David has probably settled down in Italy better than any other English player that's ever gone to Italy. And possibly at this present moment, David is one of the best players that's ever come to Italy from the English football.
David Platt returned briefly to Villa Park for a pre-season friendly with Wolves. Tonight he comes up against a Villa side that seems unable to score. They've got just 2 in their last 11 league games.
Well, I think they've been a little bit unlucky. Dwight York was going very, very well, scoring goals, and then he picked up that injury. It's difficult to come straight back after an injury and everything, but you know, we had that situation 2 years ago when we was running for the championship where, you know, it was all of a sudden it was there or thereabouts, and it looked as though we was going to win it, and then we hit a goal drought. These things happen in seasons and everything. Obviously it's a big blow to them to be knocked out of the FA Cup, but they're in a reasonable position in the league, and there's always next year.
The Bari president put a paternal arm around Platt at the end of today's training session. If Bari do go down, he'll need more than an arm to keep him. Bigger and richer clubs in Italy are waiting in the wings.
For Italy. It was almost as if he hadn't been away. The club colours were different, but this was no ordinary player returning to a former club. £5.5 million had changed hands for his services. But David Platt in the yellow of Bari, rather than the claret and blue of Aston Villa, was greeted as warmly as he ever had been. The game itself wasn't a classic. There was plenty of time to renew old acquaintances, even though only 2 of the side Platt knew started the game. And there are occasions too when the supporters were treated to a glimpse of what they've been missing this season. A couple of no-holds-barred challenges were thrown in for good measure. The first came from Dariusz Kubiski. The second was a series of clumsy challenges on the edge of the area. It all prompted an early withdrawal from the game and consequently a touch of forgetfulness as well.
I was sort of concerned with the injury and getting in and getting some ice on it quickly enough, because it's an important game for the national side last week. I forgot to turn around and say sort of bye-bye to everybody, you know.
No sooner had he left, Robert Yarni scored the only goal of the game. But David Platt left Villa Park amid speculation of yet another expensive transfer, this time from Bari, with Villa awaiting 50% of what would be a guaranteed profit.
According to the papers, not just the English papers but the Italian papers as well, there's about 150 clubs after me next year. I mean, it's that stupid, you know. I don't think you shouldn't believe anything until it happens.
Platt returned to England to honour an agreement struck in last year's transfer. Many believe